Welcome back. Let's now turn our attention to the latest war of words that has happened between Anushka Sharma and Sunil Gavaskar. Now, actor Anushka Sharma has hit out at Sunil Gavaskar over his controversial remark on her husband, Indian skipper Virat Kohli, and herself. Now, Gavaskar made an unsavory comment against the couple after the Indian captain's recent performance in the ongoing IPL. In fact, taking a dig at Kohli's failure with the bat, Gavaskar said that Kohli had only faced Anushka's bowling in the lockdown, referring to the viral video of the couple that had surfaced. And of course, Anushka then responded and lashed out at Sunil Gavaskar, saying that their entire comment was extremely distasteful. And this is not the first time, in fact, that Anushka has been dragged into controversies such as this as far as cricket is concerned. We've got some reactions that we're going to try and get you to put this into perspective. In fact, we've got with us Shanta Rangaswamy, who's a former cricketer, who's joining us on the phone line. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us. Your reaction to this, because, you know, we've seen in the past how Anushka has constantly been getting dragged into controversies such as this and comments being made. And this particular comment is extremely distasteful coming from somebody like a Sunil Gavaskar about Virat Kohli.
Well, I beg to differ. To be very honest, I was watching it yesterday. It was, in a very lighter vein that it was mentioned. And, one can't but accept that Gavaskar has a very good sense of humor. I don't think it was meant to degrade either Virat Kohli or Anushka Sharma. It's just in a lighter vein he mentioned it, and as you rightly said before I came online, the viral video of the two of them playing has been there, so he was referring to that. I don't think Sunil Gavaskar ever insults people, especially on air, and he's a brilliant commentator, just like Virat is a brilliant cricketer, and I would suggest we should stop making a mountain of the small. I agree. Anushka might be hurt because, she feels her name has been dragged. But then she's a celebrity, and so is her husband. So I suppose what was mentioned in lighter vein must be forgotten, and we should move ahead.
Well, the fact here is that obviously Anushka Sharma has not perceived it as, something that was mentioned in a lighter vein, because this isn't a one-off incident that has happened. It isn't the first time she's being dragged into these kind of comments. They're constantly, jibes that were taken at her in the past, and she's written out in the past as well. So obviously this is not making a mountain out of a molehill, especially looking at it from her perspective, as she has made very amply clear. Let me also go across to Advaita Kala, an author who's joining us as well. What is your take on this entire issue? Do you think Anushka, as Shanta Rangaswamy is saying, is making a mountain out of a molehill, or do you think that this is really something that was extremely distasteful?
There's been a history to this. Anushka has been trolled, has been abused for years now, ever since it became public that,
yes,
she was in a relationship with Virat Kohli. Every time he didn't perform, we saw the worst kind of misogyny directed at her and holding her, on account for his performance on the field. And the fact that someone of Sunil Gavaskar's stature, someone so iconic, forget the innuendo in his comments. I mean, that's sleazy and kind of unacceptable as well. But even the fact that he would link his performance to this, knowing fully well as having been a professional cricketer himself, that rarely has anything to do with it, is just disgraceful. And if she has taken offense to it, I don't blame her. Absolutely not. She has every right to take offense and to demand answers for why she's being dragged into this yet again.
Yes, absolutely. And the fact here is, Advaita, is that this is not the first time this has happened. If, you know, it was maybe the first time that her name was being dragged into such an issue, it might not have been this way, or she might not have responded this way. But she has been trolled massively even earlier when it comes to Virat's performances in various matches. And these kind of comments obviously coming in now sort of is really not fair to her.
It's not fair at all. Who is on the way to being a mother. So, you know, that is a sensitive time for any woman. And in the midst of that time, to kind of break this up again, to speak about it in this flippant manner, the innuendo, it's just not befitting also of someone of Sunil Gavaskar's stature. You know, you would expect an anonymous troll to speak like that on Twitter or on any of these social media platforms, but not someone like Sunil Gavaskar. And I really think he's let himself down, as well as really upset Anushka, and he should definitely tender an apology and respond to her.
All right. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us with your thoughts on this entire issue. We, of course, have to wait and see what Sunil Gavaskar has to say in response to what Anushka Sharma has put out as far as her statement goes.